It started off as a predominantly Scottish club in 1965, those that can remember that far back. Over the years, the club has embraced all nationalities and one of the most inclusive and diverse clubs in Australia. It's produced a lot of fine players, most notable being Alan Davidson. Also his son Jason came through the club. Peter Lormitz was a Socceroo. Colin Cooper played for Australia at under 16 level. Ian Hines, Jimmy Leonard, Ray Hands, Bill Hamill and Nat Little. In addition, Anthony Laws is currently applying his trade in England. He's a very own Order of Australia recipient, Mr. Tony Cassar. Tony has served the club with pride and distinction. One of the reasons it's achieved its 50-year generation. Altona City club members. Dale Collins, whose late father had forgotten, was inaugural committee member. And also Liam Collins. Big round of applause for the seniors.
My name's Alistair Young. And George Laurie. I come here 1974, arrived on a Thursday. My uncle brought me down on the Sunday, and I was here for probably 25, 30 years after that. Just done 15 years as the junior secretary. Had great memories of the club, loved taking the kids different trips. 5 years of taking kids to Adelaide. It was great. How do you enjoy it?
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed the club. I came here a lot later than Alistair, but my son was here playing as a junior and as a very, very young boy. And came to the club, was well coached, but the club in a whole was very, very good.
I think some of the promotions we got, some of the times we won the Lordini Cup, some of the great memories of some great players, and seeing Hans van der Poel back. Who Hans was, he left the club, come back because he didn't want to be anything else but just social cleaner. And we had Hans in goals, and we had a future. Did Lomans play for Australia?
Yes. Lomans, the goalkeeper, was there.
Yeah, Lomans was probably.
And there was another wee guy here at the time, I played against him actually, I was fortunate to play against him, was Nat Little, who was heavily involved in the club.
Good evening, my name is Peter Dubczewski, ex-president from 2002 right through to 2005. Was at the club, I suppose in the highlight of when the juniors were starting to rebuild the club from junior level, and we got back into Super League and developed some good junior players, and congratulations from Alan Davidson. Alan, he's a good friend of mine. He was at the club actually with me back in the early 2000 period. And Jason, of course, who actually played here as a junior. I spoke to him also a couple of days ago and explained to him that there was the 50th celebration of Altona City, and he also wished to pass on his congratulations too. So huge congratulations for myself. It's been a great achievement, and I hope that we can continue for the next 50 years. I want to congratulate the current committee for doing this marvellous event, and it's great to see so many old faces here, and I'm hopeful that the club will continue to exist and continue to strive to be at playing at optimum level.
John Collins. 1965 we started here. I think my father was eventually became the chairman of Altona City Soccer Club, and I've seen it come really from nothing to this today. I've seen it in the State League, seen it in the First Division. It's like the president of the club, Altona was always my club. The same thing at 10 years of age, all I ever wanted to do was play for Altona. Yeah. I was in one of the originals. It was, I think, me, Nat Little and my brother. I ended up playing in the seniors at 20 years of age. We won the Metropolitan League Cup, I think, in 1970, and that was the highlight. And the Reserve League. Many funny stories, but I can never recount any of them. It's funny things happen in that club rooms in there after the game that you wouldn't see in comedy capers.
Tony. Well, I came to the club when my son was 10 years old. I'm 13 years here. Then I became the reserves team manager, then the seniors team manager, and that's over the 13 years. Basically, that's what I've done. Basically, with my son. It's not a club where you could say it belongs to any race. It's multicultural. Everyone's friendly here. It's a great place to be here because all different cultures. It's fantastic.
Steve Laurie, mate. I started the club when I was about 6 years old. I originally wanted to play football, but a lot of people at my school were here and playing, and they said to me to come down. So I come down, and honestly, it took me about 2 or 3 sessions. I was a bit nervous as a kid to come down. After 2 sessions, I come down here and I felt comfortable. So I started here when I was under 6s, under Tony Casa, and I moved through the grades. I stayed here till I was 15, actually 14, and then I went to the Institute of Sport. And then after the Institute of Sport, I then moved on to West Ham, and then went to Germany, and then China, and then Sydney FC. Then come back for the last year of the NSL with South Melbourne Hellas. All of my basic stuff that I learnt from a young age. They had good coaches here at the time, and honestly, I've got a real soft spot for this club, and I'm just happy to be back here tonight. I mean, the junior teams were competing with the top, the South Melbournes and the Oakleys and the Green Gullies, and we really had a good team. And Joe and Sammy Borg and guys like these guys, they took me with open arms, and it's just great to get a game under those guys, because at the end of the day, they were the guys that I was going to watch as a real youngster.
My name's Alan. Alan Valance. When it was 6, played 3 years under 8s, and then played most of my junior career here until under 14s, I think it was. It's one of the best clubs I've ever been at. I sort of grew up here all my life as well, so it's been brilliant. When I was coaching here, I had the under 16 A's here, back about 4 years ago now. Ended up finishing runners up in the league and did really well. We had a lot of players that come through to play seniors here. Matty Pontus at the moment. A lot of good players come through here, and a lot of good juniors. And
Vince Fella. And I started when it came from Williamstown.
That was back in 1965?
Yeah, back in 65. I never played with the committee and coached the junior sides.
And you ran the bar for a minute?
And I done the bar, the manager of the bar. We were in the Premier League when we beat Slavia in the Doherty Cup.
That was the biggest highlight for Old Zone?
That was the best memory. They were all my favourites. All my favourites. You got Colin Cooper, Hans Van der Poel, Keith Van der Poel, Jimmy Lennon, Nat Little. There's a lot of them. Good players. Well, I'm happy that the young juniors took it over. All the committee, all juniors.
Kids that
all
used to
started
play
their
here?
soccer here. All started their soccer. Well, I wish they go in the top of the league. Because they deserve it.
Thanks, mate.
Dale Collins. When we were kids and we were all playing down that bottom end down there, that sticks in my mind when we were kids playing. But the memory of probably Alan Davidson, where he went to and where he got to, and from our club was really sticks in my mind more than anything. And he ended up being a superstar. At the moment, I'm coaching the under 12 Kangas. I've been coaching for this is 7 years straight, and I help out behind the scenes as well, here and there. And I love the club. It's in my blood. My dad was a founding member in '65. I was born in '64. I've been here all my life, and a few years ago, my wife said, Point Cook's starting up a club. Do you want to go down there and start it up? I said, Reet, there's no chance. There's no chance I can go 5 minutes or 25 minutes to Altona City. I'll go to Altona City every time. This is us. This is our club. Yeah, both my brothers played here. My dad actually, there's a good old story from the past where he was out there with his long johns on, and everyone was laughing their heads off him when he was playing. But both my brothers played here, and I played here as well. And we're pretty sure it started off as Williamstown, and then we moved here. They moved here and created Altona City, and Dad was on the first committee that started the club up in '65. There was some cream that came through here. There was Davidson. There was Lormitz, but Lormitz. Apart from Lormitz, there was Hans Van der Poel, who was probably a better keeper than Lormitz. There was Bobby Taylor, come from overseas, and probably probably the best player that I could ever remember as a midfielder was Albie. I can't remember his name. Albie was a blonde-haired guy, bit of a nutter, but he was a fantastic player. He came from overseas. We've had a couple of wins here and there. A couple of years ago, we took a squad up to Kanga Cup and won all 9 games. We were under pressure in the final. Won it 3-2 in extra time. You know, it's not about winning. It's about developing the players. And a lot of our players have developed and moved on to NPL clubs. But we've got a good, really good core group in the under 12s, and they'll do well.
Tony Casa. I've been in the club for 50 years because I played for Antona and I stood with Antona. The fondest memory, the juniors that we brought up here playing overseas. That's my memory. My favorite player, it was a guy called Tony Hamill. Very good midfielder, and everybody knows that.
And he is your brother-in-law, isn't he?
And he's my brother-in-law. The reason I'm saying that, I'm not biased. Everybody will tell you that. I met my wife. I scored a hat-trick against Brighton one day, and she thought that she was gonna get a good soccer player, right? But she didn't. Okay, but we're still together after 46 years. I'm coaching the under 7s, and I got 30 of them, and I'm really enjoying myself. Till I get the sack of this bloke.
All right, Tony.
All right, that'll do.